Even though there's a message of hope in Lamentations, the following chapters that we're going to talk about today go back to the place of confusion, frustration, and lamentations that were in the first two chapters. See, chapter 3 had hope, but chapters 4 and 5 that we're reading this week go right back to where we were in the beginning. So yes, I'm telling you that it wasn't all roses and sunshine after Jeremiah, who most likely wrote this, came up with the idea of hope and felt that hope that he had. So no, he still had to deal with the messiness of life. See, as Christians, we can do a better job at looking and understanding our suffering. See, we like to kind of wipe away our suffering. We like to throw cliches that we take, things from the Bible, and just blow it all away, like, don't worry about your suffering. But that's not what we're called to do. We're not called to turn a blind eye and to walk away. Right now, we're suffering. We have amazing seniors who as of yesterday, they're not going to be able to finish their senior year. And let's acknowledge that suffering. Let's have a conversation about it. And it's okay to be sad and angry about that. See, as Christians, we are not free from suffering. We're not free from pain. But we can't keep ignoring it and acting like it's not there, or we're never going to get past that suffering. See, hope isn't something that erases suffering. Hope helps us get through that suffering, but it doesn't erase it. And that can really be hard for us to take in and understand. Now you think that this biblical author who we think is Jeremiah, if it is Jeremiah, wrote 2 books of the Bible, would somehow conclude it in this beautiful theological thing that God put in his life. But he doesn't. What's interesting is he doesn't at all conclude what he had to say through Lamentations. He actually leaves us with some cliffhangers. But at first he asks God 2 questions that I think is important for us to realize. Why do you always forget us? And why do you forsake us so long? Jeremiah pleads with God. It feels like we've forgotten. It feels like you're forsaking us. Why? How long? Jeremiah doesn't put a bow on this. He goes right back at God through his suffering and asks why. He also pleads with God. He says, restore us to yourself, Lord. Renew our days of old. And in it all, he leaves us with a cliffhanger. Unless you have utterly rejected us and are angry beyond measure. The key is to understand one thing. Jeremiah, the author, they don't have an answer to the present suffering they're going through. They're in the midst of it. And they're asking God why. And we sometimes want to ask God why. See, God's a big God. He can understand and take that question. See, it's really messy. And Lamentation, I think, shows what life is. Life is messy. Life is broken. There are things that are not fair in this world that never will be. But we can always strive to fix those things. But in that suffering and brokenness, God gives us hope. Just like Jeremiah had, he did have hope. He still questioned God and pleaded with God, but he had hope. And hope doesn't erase it, but hope can help us walk through it. And here's the power in that hope. We have a God who within our suffering and brokenness walks hand in hand with us through it. That is a God who cares and who loves. So although life can be crazy, although we are going to suffer, and right now most of us are suffering in some way, God gives us hope that he'll walk with us through it. But also God does not call us to act like we're not going through something right now. How are you suffering? How are you expressing that suffering? And have you taken that suffering to God? I hope this study in Lamentations was good for your family, or good for yourself if you've just been journaling and doing this privately and answer these questions within yourself. I hope it helps. We're going to be going on to a new lesson next week. But I love you guys. Stay safe. Stay far away from people so we can hurry on and get back to our normal life and youth group. I love and I miss you all.